G'day punters, let's talk ALMAC Boat Loaders. A local Bundaberg company, Australian owned, make boat loaders. I've probably alluded to this recently about the new roof rack or boat loader on the top of the truck. This morning I moved that rack, this part here, 50 millimeters further forward. They installed that on the Concept Canopies roof rack for me. I was just sticking a little bit too far out for me. They supplied all the cord and the bow shackles and the hardware, the I-rings to load this up, and they did some of the splicing. I had to set up the rest. Not too many instructions about that, so I'll just go through what I did. I'll just let some slack off the cable so you can see what I've done. On the winch up the top there's actually a free spool mechanism, and you can let the cable come out completely. Free spool on this winch is just this, and you pull it out and it'll free spool, and you lock it back in, lock back in. So what I've done, sorry about the clankering, is I found the center of the boat, and then I've made sure that this ring was probably about 300 millimeters ahead of where these shackles are. First of all, I wanted to make sure that the winch motor was going to be in front of here, and that's in fact the case. So I did these two bridles first, the two cables, and this one here, what I try to do is have it up in a vertical position so that it made a perfect T. Now it's just a little bit further forward, but I'm happy enough of that. The back cables, which hook up to the rack, I measure the height from the ground to there, and then I added 30 millimeters, so the back of the boat will be off the ground, and I adjusted these and spliced them that way. So you'll see that the boat is off the ground. That's how I've adjusted it. Now I haven't swung it up on the rack yet, and I might even hit my shed yet, I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out very shortly. Rightio, I've set up the camera in a position that I'm pretty happy with, and we'll give it a crack and see what happens. I'll either make a big cluster, in which case it'll be edited out, or it'll work okay, in which case we'll see it. Well, that turned out to be a little bit of a cluster. What happened is I blew a 20 amp fuse. I've just tried to find some information on these Mean Mother 2,000 pound ATV winches. I couldn't find anything other than their 12 volts. So I put a new 20 amp fuse in and we'll see how we go. If that doesn't work, I reckon I've just blown another 20 amp fuse. Just have a quick look. Yeah, blew another 20 amp fuse. I'm just going to jump on the internet and find out what the current capacity is on these winches. Well, I didn't want to replace another 20 amp fuse. I couldn't find anything on the internet, even from Mean Mother, about the current draw or rated current draw for that 2,000 pound winch. I did check up on top, and most of the weight was being carried by the two side ropes. This one, which is up the nose cone, was carrying a little bit less weight. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to shorten this rope, I reckon by a good 6 inches, 150 mil, 200 mils, and hopefully there will be a little bit more rope or winch pressure on the top rope, which will be the nose cone. So hopefully they'll pull it over and they won't put so much of a load on the winch. That's what I'm hoping, because I don't really want to go up to a 25 amp fuse. Rightio, I've just had a couple of plays with the winch. This is the clip that goes up to the nose cone, and you can see how much tag there's still on it. Originally it was only spliced in that much, so I've shortened it quite a bit. I'll show you once it's installed back on the boat where the position is, but I thought you might like to see what a little bit of splicing is like too. First of all, I'm going to cut this tag down to probably about 6 inches past the ring. Start up past where the tag ends. I just soften the rope up because it's been under load, and it's a bit easier to get the wire hook through. I'll run that, loosen it up right up to the ring, wire hook. Look for the threads in the rope, go past a little bit past there, just thread it in, and I just turn the wire around. This is actually welding wire, and push it up. Try not to come outside the rope, get it close to the end as possible. I'm right up at the top here now, so I'm just going to push it through, hopefully not through a piece of rope, and I'm going to thread the tag through, just pull it through. That's all I needed there. So it's just pulled through, and then I just squeeze the rope up and pull the wire back, and I'll come out the end. There it is. Take it off, and then I just pull down on it, and that's the splicing done. Okay, so this is where I've ended up. I haven't adjusted these side bridle ropes, so they still come where the rope is at the front of the seat. It's about, it's going to be about 350 millimeters in front of where the fixing points are for the eye bolts, and this rope here is quite short now. When I pull it up straight, it more or less drops down. You can probably see the front of the ring on the front of the seat. Now I'm going to give it another crack with the winch, and you will see how it goes, eh? Now I'm going to start the car only because I know that my auxiliary battery is a little bit flat, and I'll need the current and the cable up here on this Anderson plug is sticky too, so I'll have to fix that. I'll try it anyhow without the motor running. Now when it gets to this position, I just want to make sure it lines up with the rollers, because I've got a really tight fit on the edges of here. Very tight fit. Well, that's as far forward as I wanted to go. It's winched up on the front tracks, much like this here, and seems to work okay. Didn't buy a fuse. Pulling it out's a little bit different. You actually got to physically pull it out until it gets over the tip, over the point that you can release it down on the winch. This H bracket, they provided that. I've just made sure that the front face there is out past the front of the wheel. That's all I'm worried about. It's probably a little bit higher than it needs to be. I could probably cut it right back down to here, and I'll have another look at that shortly anyhow. Well, I thought I'd just let you know, I was having some bad contacts when I was doing the boat stuff, so I pulled the Sanderson plug apart, and the positive terminal, there was a dry solder joint there, so I've resoldered the positive and the negative on that. And also on the hand control, I've resoldered those as well and put some heat shrink on them just to tidy it up and make it a little bit nicer. And that way I can be certain that the solder joints are good. All that's left to do now is have a beer. Cheers.